Good day, students. Today in JSS 2 Civic Education we are studying antisocial behavior, specifically cultism and kidnapping, two serious social problems that threaten the safety, education, and development of Nigerian youth and communities. Antisocial behavior refers to actions or patterns of behavior that cause harm or distress to other people or to the community, violate social norms, and often constitute criminal offenses. Antisocial behavior destroys the fabric of society and undermines the basic rights and freedoms of citizens. Cultism. A cult, in the context of Nigerian schools and universities, refers to secret societies or confraternities that engage in violent, criminal, and antisocial activities. Cultism is the practice of belonging to and participating in the activities of such groups. The origin of campus confraternities in Nigeria dates to the Pirates Confraternity, founded by Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka and others at the University of Ibadan in 1952. It was originally founded to combat colonial mentality and promote Nigerian intellectual and cultural identity. However, subsequent confraternities, some of which broke away from the original, and many new ones, degenerated into violent rivalry, crime, and terror. By the 1980s and 1990s, cult violence had become a serious problem in Nigerian universities. Today, cult-related violence affects not only universities but increasingly secondary schools. Activities of cult groups include initiation of new members through violent and degrading rituals, clashes with rival cult groups resulting in murder and injury, extortion and robbery of students and community members, intimidation of lecturers and examination officials, drug trafficking, and sexual violence against women. Signs of cult recruitment, sudden changes in behavior, mixing with secretive groups, unexplained sources of money or weapons, wearing of specific colors or symbols, irregular attendance at school, and pressure from peers to join secretive groups. Consequences of cultism: loss of life. Many Nigerian students have been killed in cult clashes, injury and permanent disability, expulsion from school, imprisonment, destruction of academic and career prospects, trauma to families and communities, and disruption of education in affected institutions. How to avoid cultism: refuse to join any secret society regardless of the inducements offered, money, protection, or social status. Report cult recruitment attempts to school authorities, parents, or police. Engage in positive activities, sports, music, academic clubs, religious groups that provide community and identity without violence. Understand that cult membership typically destroys rather than advances your life prospects. Kidnapping. Kidnapping is the criminal act of seizing and holding a person against their will, typically for ransom or to achieve a political or other goal. Kidnapping has become an extremely serious security problem in Nigeria over the past 2 decades. Types of kidnapping in Nigeria include ransom kidnapping, where victims, often wealthy individuals, business people, or their family members, are held until a ransom payment is made; mass kidnapping, where large groups of people are taken, most notoriously the abduction of 276 Chibok schoolgirls by Boko Haram in April 2014. Which became an international crisis under the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls; ritual kidnapping, where victims are abducted for use in ritual practices; child trafficking, where children are kidnapped and sold into domestic labor, sexual exploitation, or begging; and politically motivated kidnapping, particularly in conflict zones. Regions particularly affected include the Niger Delta, where kidnapping was common in the early 2000s and was linked to oil industry militancy; the Southeast, the Northwest, where banditry and mass kidnapping of schoolchildren has intensified since around 2019, and the Northeast, where Boko Haram and ISWAP operate. Consequences of kidnapping: death or injury to victims, severe psychological trauma, families lose their life savings paying ransoms, children miss education or are permanently prevented from completing their schooling, communities live in fear, businesses close and investment is deterred, and national development is set back. Safety measures to prevent kidnapping: vary your daily routines and routes, be aware of your surroundings, especially in isolated areas, avoid displaying expensive items publicly, do not accept rides from strangers, report suspicious activities to security agencies, avoid late-night movement in unsafe areas, and schools should implement security measures including gates, guards, and communication protocols. Government responses include deployment of military and police operations, establishment of the Joint Task Force and other security operations, the amnesty program for Niger Delta militants, and federal and state government negotiations for the release of abducted schoolchildren. As young Nigerians, understanding these threats helps you protect yourself and contribute to a safer society. Saying no to cultism, reporting suspicious activity, and supporting community security initiatives are all practical contributions you can make.